From the air, this Earth's Greenland looks like an endless beauty of natural surroundings. There's no place quite like it. Africa's beauty is known for its natural wonders, amazing wildlife, and luscious forests.
Forestry is linked to livelihoods and everything. If you look at forestry, it is linked with food security, the livelihoods of the people, the environment, water, the air we breathe, everything around us. So if you remember, we always say, when the last tree dies, the last man dies.
L'Afrique, d'une manière générale, et l'Afrique subsaharienne, d'une manière particulière, vit des forêts. Nous sommes un continent dominé par l'agriculture. Notre économie est basée sur l'agriculture. Et lorsque nous parlons de l'agriculture, nous parlons des forêts. La forêt est très importante. Grâce à la forêt, nous avons la nourriture. Si on n'avait pas la nourriture, personne ne vivrait.
As a young man, I saw real great forests, large forests, no destruction of forests. Rivers were flowing clean water. Animals were enjoying the environment in the forest.
It is these trees that make our land so magical. The United Nations estimates that Africa will be home to 2.2 billion people by 2050. This will cause a massive investment in infrastructure, a process historically harmful for the environment and our forests.
Deforestation degradation has been caused by, of course, an increasing population and the demand for more and more wood. Large areas have been cleared. There's been a lot of deforestation, a lot of forest degradation, which comes with loss of environmental benefits like water, clean air, and so forth. So across the region, there has been a lot of forest destruction. So unless we create alternative sources of sustainable firewood, the forests will continue to disappear because the people need firewood and cannot stop them.
Madhara ni makubwa ambayo sasa hivi wameyahusisha na mabadiliko ya tabia nchi, hiyo wanaita climate change. Madhara ni makubwa, unakuta kwamba kuna baadhi ya maeneo mvua zimebadilisha majira yake. Nyingine zinawahi sana na kuleta mafuriko floods, nyingine zinachelewa. Lakini kuna baadhi ya maeneo mito imekauka, hawapati maji tena.
Forests, like all other natural resources in Africa, belong to us, and we have to take responsibility. In far too many cases, the affairs of Africa and the management of or development of its resources are highlighted or pushed by external agencies.
The community living around the forest need to be protected, to be involved in the protection activities of the forest, because they are the best custodians to me, more than the ranger or the forester or person with a gun or what, because they will be the first to feel the impact when the resource is degraded. Then also because of the surrounding and they live around, there can be what we call best informers on any illegal activities that is going in between the forest.
Sub-Saharan Africa has over 45,000 plant species. But for the last 2 decades, African forests have experienced the worst human degradation. Logging, mining, oil exploration and poaching are some of the dangers faced by these magnificent forests. Founded in 2007, African Forest Forum started its operations in 2008 and has since uncovered the science crucial for enhancing sustainable forest management practices and offered many solutions to the challenges faced in the sector. From mitigating and adapting to climate change to transforming unsustainable consumption and production practices, and also providing a good framework for regional cooperation.
There is the policy environment that surrounds all of the activities, and this is usually defined mainly in international debates and institutions, especially the United Nations Forum on Forest, which is an offshoot of the Rio Conventions. So we participate fully in the discussions at this level to make sure that the policies that come from them, they also include issues that are of relevance to Africa, and also they do not constrain our activities on the continent. And that one we've been very successful in that the African voice is heard internationally and is respected.
I can say that AFF has done tremendously well. It has raised the profile of forestry in Africa. It has raised the voice of forestry in Africa through international negotiations and processes. It has generated information. A lot of information about forests have become available actually because of the work that the African Forest Forum has done. And I can say that it's a very important institution. It's trying to help on matters of policy, on matters of advocacy, and on matters of trying to actually inform through science.
The African Forest Forum had a very big impact in Africa because it unified the countries, it unifies the forestry specialists. It gives the members we have within Africa and outside Africa the opportunity to be trained. We share several thoughts, issues that are relevant to Africa. We prepare like teams to go to big meetings where we stand together. So it strengthens the foresters, it strengthens the forest sector within our continent.
To push its own agenda, African Forest Forum has partnered with the private sector, non-governmental organizations, research and academia, government institutions, women, and the community.
AFF's role is to, as we say, analyze, advocate, and assist people in doing it. We work with NGOs, we work with government departments, we work with science institutions, who in turn are the ones who have the responsibility to go out to communities and convey the ideas. We have the technical knowledge, we have the various recommendations we can have. In saying that, we still try to invite, on many of our workshops, we have invited representations from communities.
The African Forest Forum has worked with the Kenya Forest Service in training the officers within the Kenya Forest Service in the areas of negotiation, sustainable management of forests, certification in the areas of tree improvement. With the Kenya Forest Service and Kenya Forestry Research Institute, we are all aware that tree improvement is key to sustainable forest management. Without proper and qualified seeds, we cannot be able to develop forests in this country.
The partnership between AU's African Union Commission and an AFF, African Forestry Forum, is relatively an old partnership. It's about 10 years or so now. So we can say that from the onset, the African Union Commission has been part of the African Forestry Forum. And then over the years, about 6 years ago, precisely, we concluded an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, laying out how do we work with the African Forest Forum, and then spelling out the priorities for Africa, because we work for a continental organization, African Union Commission. So we are serious about what are the priorities of Africa in the area of forest management.
La principale motivation, j'avais compris que AFF était un cadre, une plateforme d'échange, de discussion, un lieu de donner et de recevoir pour ceux qui sont véritablement engagé à agir dans le sens de promouvoir la foresterie en Afrique. J'ai vu effectivement à AFF un endroit où je peux mieux apprendre au sujet de la foresterie africaine, mais aussi un endroit où je peux mieux donner pour davantage promouvoir la foresterie en Afrique.
Women are the ones who they go for charcoal, they pick the firewood, so they go for their farms. They need and they value the resources. So if you have a woman from the bottom to the top, the whole line of the whole chain, forest chain involved, you have women there, so we really have a granted way to get a good results or good impact on the forestry resource management.
Mais les acquis de ce que j'obtiens comme résultat sur le terrain peuvent aider African Forest Forum à mieux développer, je dirais, ses projets, ses intentions de projet, et aussi à mieux gérer les activités sur le terrain. Je prends par exemple, on parle de foresterie, les arbres utiles.
I want more youth to get involved with what AFF is doing. And not only that, I believe that AFF, they have that ability to build the capacity of African youth, especially when it comes to forestry and land use management and some other environmental issues. I believe that if AFF could easily incorporate youth in their activities, it will be a kind of sustainable program for them.
I would really like to thank the people of Sweden through CEDA, because it's CEDA that supported us right from the conception of the idea of AFF. I also need to thank the people of Switzerland through SDC, because they also came in 2011 up to now and supporting us in many of our activities.
African Forest Forum has also been instrumental in sharing its wealth of knowledge by providing scholarships to its youthful members.
Every year we roll out students who go on scholarship to Switzerland. They do their theory there, come to the African continent to do their practicals before they write their thesis. So any area wherever we develop, we find some gap as much as possible, we tend to fill it.
I'm here in Switzerland for the master's study. The studies in Switzerland are very nice. We are with many students, come from many countries in the world. For us, it's a good opportunity because we have a possibility to exchange the knowledge and to improve our skills. Thank you very much, AFF.
I'm part of the African Forestry Forum beneficiaries this time, and I'm glad to be studying at AFF because the lecturers, they are very friendly and welcoming. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you, AFF.
I would like to express my gratitude to AFF for giving us this opportunity of coming and pursue our studies here in Masters, mainly in forestry. We are ensuring you that it will be a great asset for African as whole continent and our countries, because we have skills and knowledge of how we can manage sustainably our forests.
We are very lucky that our scholarship is covering almost all living expenses. We are well accommodated with the transport expenses, food, clothing, and all our social needs are well covered here. And we are very happy and proud to be the new members of the AFF family from Africa, and you are well represented here from the Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa.
And as African Forest Forum celebrates 10 years of its existence in Africa, the massive impact and notable achievements are just the start of greater things to come.
Mes vœux pour AFF dans les prochaines années, d'abord, je souhaite voir un AFF qui continue à être actif quand il s'agit du débat international et continental en matière de ressources forestières. Les 10 dernières années, AFF a été très actif dans le débat sur la foresterie. AFF a été très contributif pour la foresterie en Afrique et même au niveau mondial. Donc, je souhaite que AFF continue ses efforts. Mon autre vœu pour AFF dans les prochaines années, c'est de voir comment est-ce que AFF va trouver un mode de financement qui soit aussi durable et qui les rend moins dépendants.
Actually, the founding fathers of the organization, they've done well in promoting forestry in Africa. Not only that, in the next 10 years, I'm looking at an organization that has gained its tentacle fully in Africa. AFF, we have that capacity because African people, we have passion for what is ours. And I believe that with the present people on board, the founding fathers of the organization, they have that capacity, they have that strength to even push the organization forward. And I believe the involvement of youth now under the AFF, automatically, I think the sky is just the limit for the organization.
AFF a une diversité de membres, de la femme rurale jusqu'aux professionnels. Ce que je peux leur demander ou leur transmettre comme message, c'est de continuer à soutenir le Forum africain sur les forêts. Parce que le Forum africain sur les forêts, c'est une opportunité pour l'Afrique.
I would like to congratulate AFF, especially the executive secretariat, who have done a very, very good job in running the programs very, very efficiently and using the money that AFF gets from donors very, very efficiently. I think the program has reached out to many people in Africa and promoted forestry dialogue by preparing participants from Africa in major international conferences and fora where we are discussing forestry. So AFF in the next 10 years will make a big difference in Africa.
First of all, it's to commend the initiatives which have been done for 10 years. But also now we shouldn't stop there. They need to do more. Wamefika katikati ya safari. 10 years is like you are in the middle and you need to do better. Because all these efforts which have been done for 10 years, they need now to go beyond.
For the 10th anniversary of the AFF, be ready to celebrate the 100th anniversary. Because even in 100 years' time, we shall need these forests, and we shall need even more than we have today. Go for it.
I'm proud indeed of AFF in the sense it is, I think, the only region in the world in Africa where we have something like the AFF. I would like to congratulate AFF for its 10th anniversary. Still a child with 10 years. I hope it develops as it developed until now over the next 10 years. And hopefully we will meet again in 10 years and celebrate the 20th anniversary.
AFF is a sister organization with Ngara, the Network for Natural Gums and Resins. We complement one another. They are doing tremendous work. I encourage them to keep going. Partners that are supporting AFF, I would like to say that they are investing their resources well. And by investing their resources through AFF, they are contributing to the management of forestry and related natural resources on the African continent.
On behalf of my Commissioner, Her Excellency Ambassador Josefa Sako, AU Commissioner for Rural Economy and Agriculture, I wish AFF a happy 10-year anniversary.
AFF is now celebrating its 10th anniversary. We can look back on a very successful first 10 or rather 11 years. And we are looking forward to even more successful and expanded work in the next 10 years.
The commitment as a CCF I have for Kenya Forest Service is that we must be able to establish, nurture and sustain our partner, because these partnerships are the ones that will help us to leverage and synergize our efforts without duplication and effectively conserve and manage our forests in a sustainable way. And therefore envisage, as they go towards their second decade, or their first decade actually towards the 20 years, that we're going to deepen our relationship, our partnership, so that as a country we can be able to benefit from the technical documents and knowledge powerhouse that they have to inform our forest management policies, and more so even with regards to the climate change, which is a global agenda as we speak, and which actually is a major challenge facing African countries.
When we started, nobody could see that would grow to the institution which we are right now. We work with about 40 or 50 experts every year. So as an institution, we have grown. That's an achievement. We've turned the concept into an institution. So members, I would thank them very much for the trust they have in us, and also that the institution is growing rapidly, and they should continually take charge of the activities of the institution the way they've done.
As human beings, 10 years is a decade, and we felt we should beat our chest to the whole world. In 10 years, if you've not heard of us, we are now making noise that, look, we have done something on the continent and we want to clap for ourselves. So that people like you know that, oh, there's somebody called, or an institution called AFF. And probably then we want to make them to see what are those guys making noise about.